can now, I guess, but that's what the people tell me.
Arizona, here we come.
I'm more going towards, you know, like the overall.
I'm known for my whip. It's not racing.
My job is to just get gnarlier and gnarlier all the time.
I can tell you this, it doesn't feel like it looks.
It is my job. It's not really like a job, but it is my job.
Good job, guys. Made me late. Gosh, gotta keep a rep. Davi Millsaps, 18 years old, and I ride for Honda. I live in Cairo, Georgia, not Cairo. It's really, really small and sometimes really boring when you're by yourself, but I live with Brian Johnson and Martin Davalos, and it makes it better than just living by yourself. I have a lot of property. I have 100 acres here, or take that back. My mom has 100 acres, or 95, I bought 5 from her, so I own 5. And we have 2 supercrosses and 1 outdoor track. But then you got the MTF property, which is, I think, 50 acres. And you have a supercross, have a pit bike, you have outdoor. I basically have access to 3 supercrosses and 2 outdoors. Well, my mom is great. She trains me on a bike. You know, she sees things that, you know, I don't even see on some people or on me, and I don't know. That's all she does for me is train me and, you know, be my mom, which is this is a great big deal because, you know, like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am.
Couldn't ask for anybody to push you harder. No matter what you're doing, it's always not good enough.
I don't want to say it. That's why he's so good in the woods, okay? Because he can hold his bike. His toes are in. He's got all the leg strength he has.
He misses every whoop with his front tire.
He has more leg on his bike than you guys do in these whoops.
Yeah, but not
Don't make excuses. How do you know that's not the reason?
You barely ever get, well, that was a good ride, but I mean, we barely ever go out there without complaining about something, but
Let's go, come on.
10 minutes?
Nah, I hate the turn track. Bugs me.
Sometimes I want to throw my hands up and walk away, you know, because he's 18 and knows it all.
Should I dab my leg? What kind of question is that?
I have very high expectations, and sometimes maybe they are a little unrealistic and hard to meet. But you never know what you're capable of until you're pushed to a level beyond where you're comfortable.
with Davey is just awesome, you know. He's a great guy. He helps you a lot. You know, that's the big thing.
You know, when they ride good, they tell them they ride good. When they ride bad, they're like, you suck, you know? You don't even try, and they're really brutally honest with each other, but they have each other's back.
It's good, you know. You can't ask for anything better training with the best, but kind of gets frustrating watching him, especially in the whoops. No matter how fast you feel like you're going, he's always going to pass you, so.
What are you doing? Huh? You're not very warmed up, are you?
What?
Yeah, you haven't put a hard lap in. Your knee hurt? Well, let's go grab some Advil. I have some Advil in my car. You didn't take any this morning? Why? Because you didn't think it was going to hurt? Huh?
If you haven't been hurt, then you haven't been riding hard enough. You know, right now I have a hurt knee.
It's gonna hurt. Yeah. Huh? Yes.
You have to deal with them. You can't just say, you know, no, I'm not going to ride because, you know, my shoulder's a little sore or something like that. I mean, I've ridden with broken collarbones, broken wrists, broken ankles.
This is what you do for your profession. Dude.
You know, it just depends on how much heart you have, I guess. The last Supercross season went awesome. You know, I think the last two went great.
I wish you could have been upon the wall when I was 12 years old, crying on my homework. I would have slipped my wrist if it wasn't for
And this year I came into the season and with all the confidence in the world. Went out and won the first race, and I was pumped, you know. And you know, race after race after race, just being consistent. And you know, I put a season together finally, and you know, 4 firsts, 3 seconds. Championship. You know, it was a good year, definitely a good year for me.
in the spirit of Canandaigua. I mean what I say. In the spirit of Canandaigua. I mean what I say. In the spirit of Ernest together. We do. Love, baby. I put a curse on you. I put a curse on you. Love, baby. This is for you.
I'm 18. I mean, I guess I'm considered a man now. I guess, but that's what the people tell me. But I still feel like a kid. I mean, I don't actually feel like one. I mean, I feel like I'm 50. My body does, but in my mind, I still think I'm, you know, just a kid going out there to have fun.
The story of this episode here is basically got done with the Portland Round of the Dew Tour last weekend and grabbed a couple of my buddies, Derek Berlew and Bilko, and Blake Williams. And I've been hearing about this natural train spot for a long time. It's kind of like a Caneville, Utah, or like an Ocotillo down in Southern California, but it hasn't been ridden or filmed. So, you know, I've always been kind of into trying to find something new and find something that hasn't just been played out. I mean, those places are fun to ride, but it's just been there, done that, you know, so. All right, we are in the RV with 3 dudes that don't look right now for some reason. We're pinning out of here. Arizona, here we come. Hey, hi. Go all that way, buddy. I got you around, buddy. I'm scared to back out. Destination somewhere outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. Bilko. I don't know what to think about that kid, honestly. I'd be driving and everyone else would be sleeping or playing video games. He'd be in the passenger seat making all these whistling noises and saying all these weird little sayings. And it's cool to have someone with that type of energy in him, you know.
You know, it's called attention to detail. If you've got attention to detail, and sweet.
And then you got Berlou, who's just totally laid back, you know, just plays a lot of video games, rides when he has to, does the good tricks in the contest when he has to, but other than that, he's just laid back, and he don't talk too much, you know, he doesn't do much, but it's kind of nice, you know, I hang out with Bilko, my brain's going 100 miles an hour, and then Bilko gets tired and goes to sleep, and Berlou hops in the passenger seat and starts talking to me, and it's just like, it's like easy listening to music. We rolled into Flagstaff the next day from the day we left, and met up with one of my buddies. He's actually the manager at Twmx, Justin Skolin. He's the guy that told us about this area. He's been bugging me for the last year to come down and get everyone to come out and check it out. So we met up with him, and he penned it out there with us. Pulled off onto a dirt road right off the main road there, and you know, I'm thinking, sweet, we're there. And I didn't really see nothing to ride, and sure enough, the riding area is not right off the road. It was probably about 20 minutes off the main road down a dirt road that was all rain washed out. And we started getting stuck. Everyone better hold on, because I am punching it back there.
Holy cheese and rice.
Hey, you guys want to get out and walk? Fucking walk.
Dude, we are here, and it's looking good. Love it.
But once we got there, you know, it made the drive worth it. You know, sitting in the RV with everyone farting on you and stinking it up. You know, it was cool to finally get there, let the RV air out, and do some riding. First thing we have to do is you've got to navigate the area. You know, we have no clue what's going on out there. Like, every time we go to Caneville, we know the spots, right where we're going, right what we're doing. And so, you know, we would just go out there and kind of look around, try to find something, and just 2 to 3 pre-runs up a lip, you know, and we'd have a lip carved out and be hitting a jump. So it was cool to check it out and find some new stuff, and I was really happy with the train. Probably halfway through our second day, we were riding and the clouds started rolling in and the lightning was coming, and, you know, it scared all of us. We didn't want to get stuck out there, so packed up everything. I think I had the RV packed in 15 minutes, which has got to be record time.
We're about a day and a half into our filming, and we got a big black thing coming overhead.
And what happens with this big black thing is it's gonna rain everywhere, and this ground's not really water friendly. So basically we're probably about 15 minutes off the main road, and if it rains, we're gonna be out here a while.
Yeah, you know, this dirt gets slicker than a whiskey fart once a little water gets on it.
It does. And whiskey farts, slick. It was kind of a bummer, you know, we were just starting to figure out the area and kind of know where we were, and I definitely feel there was some more stuff to find, but, you know, at the same time, I'm pumped with what we found, and I'm pumped we didn't get stuck out there, so it was a good time. We left pretty much straight from there and drove, I think it was about a 5-hour drive up to Las Vegas for what they call an X Games qualifier. It's more or less just a fun weekend in Vegas for us, you know, it's not a hard course, and it really doesn't mean much because only the winner goes. So, I mean, you really want to win it, but at the same time, riding a contest and getting paid in Vegas, you know, you can't ever complain, so. Life of a freestyle motocrosser, FMXer, if you will, is awesome. You know, it's such easy work. I mean, I shouldn't say easy. Riding a dirt bike's always going to be hard, but at the same time, you know, I've been riding all my life, and this is just natural to me to be on my dirt bike. So now I'm going everywhere, you know, I'm traveling, I'm putting on a show for the crowd, I'm riding awesome demos throughout the U.S. and other countries, and it kills me, you know, I don't get it. I've bought a nice house, had a nice truck, all just from riding my dirt bike, and it's something I never would have expected, you know. I've just always wanted to ride, I've loved riding. I've never done it to be the guy that's the richest guy on a dirt bike. I've just done it, you know, through the family. My dad rode and got me into it, and now just to see all like the hard work paying off, it's amazing, you know. You know, just get to see the things I've gotten to see. That I know there's tons of people in the world that probably would love to get paid to see the places I've seen, you know, and do the stuff I've done. And you know, I can't picture having a real job when I'm done with this. I'm kind of scared. I don't know what to do, but I'm sure I'll figure something out. I'm kind of smart. I know I probably don't seem like it on the camera, but got some brains up there. So we'll have to see what happens when I'm about 30, which is coming up.
There's a video, it's funny. I hadn't seen it in years, and my family, we went home for Seattle Supercross and said, oh, we were going to watch this movie. It had a heading on it of North Avenue Irregulars, and so they popped it in the, it's a tape, so it's not even a CD, and we had taped over a movie that I had taped, and it was a home video.
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny watching it. I don't even know how old. I think he was like maybe 5.
Saying it's loading up. There's Ryan's new bike. It's a trick.
It was kind of all covered up, and they come out, you know, all the kids have to stay over there.
Come on, guys. I bumped into him. That's yours over there, honey. Whoa! Come over here. You can ride that? Yeah,
Pretty neat watching that after, you know, not seeing it for, you know, 10 years.
Obviously, being down here in California, you get to ride with all the good guys and all the guys that were racing at the time, and you know, battling for the championship and whatnot. Paris is normally good. Being a smaller track, it's kind of, you can't really do like a long moto on it. I mean, I guess you can, but it gets real boring pretty fast. Normally, there's quite a few people out there, and they're all pretty fast. So you can get a pretty good gauge if you go there, and especially at the beginning of the season, obviously a lot of guys are getting ready for nationals. And
basically what I do for Ryan, and I think it's becoming more evident that there's a lot of riders that are hiring trainers and at different levels do different things for them. And basically, we go to the gym together. We do the road rides together. I basically set up his schedule like he doesn't do a road ride at whatever level unless it's scheduled for me. You know, like today's going to be hard, today's going to be sprints, we're going to go 40 miles today easy. Whatever I set up on the schedule, that's what he does. And I think it helps riders now at this level because they don't have to question whether or not they're ready to race. I guess it's kind of my job to make sure he's ready to race, and then he doesn't have to worry about it.
He's there every day and goes to the track, and so yeah, I'm pumped.
Brandon tries to get me to ride like I do when I race, when I practice. I don't know, it's so hard to do long motos and doing it at race speed. Seems like if you didn't do it that often, you only did it when you race, you wouldn't be in control, but it's hard to do it when you practice. Traveling, well, sucks, period. Doesn't matter where you're going, it still sucks. Flying the 4 hours or whatever it is. And a lot of the races are back east, so a lot of the flights are being overall to be like 5 hours, because normally you have an hour flight and then 4. So it takes a lot out of you, especially flying Friday and riding Saturday for practice and then racing Sunday and then flying back Monday. All the tracks so far have been new to me. I've never rode any of them. He's been to all the races, he's been to all the tracks, and it's more like he knows what to expect.
I obviously went to the Nationals with him to talk him through different things. You know, if he was riding good, if he was riding bad, what lines. I'd been to all the tracks before, different riders, how they race. You know, I've been around most of those riders too, so I could kind of help him along those lines a little bit. And I try to always tell him this, you know, ride the best you can. If you get past, that's okay. You know, as long as you're giving everything you got, you don't have to win every time.
You know, I'm more going towards, you know, like the overall, or like, you know, it seems like when I'm out there, I'm like, oh, you know, don't lose the overall. I've done most of my racing from like 10th to, or 8th to 10th, and that's just like where I started this year for outdoors.
The best rides I've ever seen him do in his career, amateur or wherever, were coming from the back of the pack. He doesn't give up, he doesn't, you know, there's a lot of riders that they just can't get beyond that, thinking, I'm way back here, how am I ever gonna get forward? Or they just give up, they just can't find the drive. And he always has been able to do that.
Racing, you know, racing nationals now, it's more intense. So you're riding more on the edge, and obviously the tracks are rougher and there's way more lines to pick from, so it's easy to end up or being on the right side of the track and all of a sudden you're on the left.
You know, when I watch Ryan, I can see him make a mistake, but he recovers so well he doesn't lose any time because of it. Like in the turn, if he like high sides off the turn a little bit, he still got the throttle on, but his outside foot might be off to counter-react the balance. Where most guys, as soon as they get high in the turn, they chop the throttle, get the bike back down the turn, and they've lost momentum for the next straightaway. It's kind of a blessing and a curse to Ryan that he does ride a lot of outside lines, but he does it really well.
You know, I've never tried to take someone's riding style or two people and then kind of like make my own. It was more, I guess, just that's how I am. You know, Ricky hasn't changed his. It's more, he's on the stop all the time. You know, sideways, doesn't matter. It's wide open, and you know, it works for him. I don't think if it works for you, I don't think you should change it.
He just always had the drive. It's just was a part of him. That's the part, I guess, is where I knew that it wasn't that he was forced to do it. It's all he wanted to do was ride a motorcycle.
Practicing, I never ever ride like really fast, and that's something I think I need to learn how to do in practice. That way when I go to a race, it doesn't seem different to me, I guess. When you're at a race and stuff, you got the adrenaline going, you got the nerves, and it's definitely a completely different feeling from practicing. You got the whole crowd, especially Supercross, you got 40 or 60,000 people watching you. But once we get to the starting line, all I'm thinking about is getting a start, because you don't want to be in the middle of the pack on the start. Outdoors, you have 40 guys going fourth gear wide open into a corner, and you don't want to lock handlebars going that fast, especially when there's a bunch of people around you. Your zone, you start right when the gate drops, you're in your zone, for sure. Like when I feel like when I'm doing my best, I don't feel like I'm going that fast. Everything's real slow and like coming up, like when you're racing, everything's real slow. I've noticed like when I come off the track feeling like that, then that's when I ride my best. I don't know, it's hard to explain the feeling. It is a good feeling. Yeah, especially when the track's loamy and rutted and stuff. I think the good feeling is just racing and being in your zone. I think that's what a lot of the guys strive for. Ever since I was little, all I did was jump. And even my dad would be like, why are you, I was always happy getting fourths and fifths and this stuff, and I was always whipping it and showing off for people. And my dad always told me, he's like, you jump for show and you corner for dough. He's like, that's the only way you can get any money. And so that's just, I don't know, just, I guess it's just natural for me to go out there and whip a motorcycle. Well, Fitzpatrick, well, there's a bunch of guys out there, Twitch, and obviously Fitzpatrick and Todd Potter. Jumps we were hitting, one of them was a, I don't know, 140-foot double, 130-foot, something like that. That was a big jump. And then the one in the corner, I think, was my favorite, over off on the side. I could really whip it off that jump.
Whips are ridiculous, dude. It's him and Wyndham. I'd say Lanovit's got good ass whips. They're like, he's been whipping it forever, and that dude knows how to whip a bike. We usually ride out there with the same people all the time, and for different people to be out there riding with the Supercross guys, him and Weimer, and stuff like that was definitely cool, something different, something fun. So,
you know, I was so stoked just watching him go up and whip it. I think it looks so good. But it's awesome because he can out there doing backflips and all the other tricks that they do. It's definitely fun riding with them. You know, I give him props. Those guys are gnarly. They do some crazy stuff.
he's probably one of the most naturally talented kids I know on a bike, you know, like he's super sick, and I just like his style. He's badass on a bike.
Get it straight, people. It's Leninovich.
Currently live in Temecula, California. Got a course in my backyard. It's Deegan's old house. The backyard obviously is huge for what I do. If you don't have a spot like this to go to every day, it's pretty much impossible to stay competitive in our sport unless you're a natural. Average day, I wake up around 8, I'll go prep the course, eat some breakfast, be riding by about 10, 10:30, and I'll ride till 12:31.
Full of splinters, agitating, so frustrating, letting dreams stay as dreams. What are you waiting for? Feel the score deep in your center. Immaculate as the conception enter my dragon ways for so many days. I roll on a ship with
usual crew around here is my roommate Jimmy McGuire, Todd Potter, Robbie Madison, Twitch, Feist, Deegan. That's pretty much the crew that rides here. Obviously the foam pit's huge. I mean, that's definitely becoming a necessity now. For the last few years you could kind of get by without one or get by with going to one every now and then if you had to drive. Now I feel like to stay top 3 you pretty much need one. And that sucks because those are a lot of money.
Irritating me. Can't get it consistent.
What are you trying to do?
Cliffhanger flip. Ready? Yep, ready.
The foam pit, just like anything else, it's good to have around, but also it's a lot of work. So we have to cover it, uncover it, keep the water pumped out. So every day we go out, we have to fluff it all up and puff up a big pile, and that right there just gets you, that'll wind you and get you tired right there, just crawling around that thing in motocross gear. It's a process, but it's worth it, and that's the main reason why I bought this place, was just for the foam pit, just to have that.
To validate existence, I'm blessed in every instance. False pretense is what angers me the most. I'm good at counterattacks, don't try to play me close. Don't toast, just roast with my rhythm and give them 100% of what
I think a lot of people think it's soft, but it hurts. You land in foam, but it's not like you land in foam. Your bike does, and you're on top of it or under it. It hurts.
I think a lot of people people think we just wing it when we go for tricks, but I take baby steps. The last thing I want to do is get hurt. Really try not to put a time limit or a date when I need to learn a trick. Just kind of learn it, and whenever I feel like doing it on the dirt, I'll do it.
I don't know, no hand flips, just cool.
Fun. That's what you call it, the F word.
The best feeling trick to me probably is a lazy boy flip, because I have to rotate the flip really slow, and then the motion of me laying back speeds it up. So it's a hard trick, because if I rotate too fast off the lip and I can't do it, I'll end up coming in a little front end high. It's kind of, all the contests in America, it's kind of like no matter where you go, it's kind of the same contest, because I see all of my same friends, all the same guys, and a lot of the promoters and promotional companies use the same people, so it's just a different label on the contest. It's the X Games, or it's the Dew Tour, or it's, you know, LG, whatever. So they're I kind of treat them the same. I don't really try to differentiate in between them. I just want to win them. So it's kind of the same thing to me.
Nate Adams, we put to the test for incredible variety on the flip tricks, as well as a high energy, fully pinned in the corner.
Yeah, I do feel pressure to show up with new tricks, because I know everyone else feels the pressure.
Nate has got the whole bag of tricks. He's got the extension, and he's got those flip variations.
To enemies, it's a breeze through the trees. If you follow us hollow, forever empties your tank while you're laughing all the way to the bank. Understand?
So far, most powerful run we've seen today. Another variation.
He's put a lot of distance between him and the rest of the field. This will be the #1 run.
Well, the X Fighters events are probably more fun because they're in Europe and other countries, and it seems like other countries really eat up the whole freestyle thing a lot more than the Americans do. You know, I like to give the crowd a good show, and I love it when the crowd cheers for me, but when it comes down to it, basically I'm riding for 4 to 5 people, and that's the judges in the judges booth, you know? And that's what it comes down to. That's my score right there, those 4 or 5 people. So obviously our sport is entertainment, and I want to give entertainment, have a good show, and you know, people that are fans of mine, they're pumped to see me. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, basically just showing those 4 to 5 people what I can do and how I can do it better than everyone else. I think a lot of people have kind of an improper view of what we're about, maybe, because of how the sport started. I think they think we're like slackers and just sleep in every day and maybe go ride, you know, at noon or whatever. But the sport's growing so fast, and the elevation of the difficulty of it is growing so fast that I don't think that there's anyone that's in the top of this sport that's not taking it seriously. I kind of thought about it a couple weeks ago. I never thought about it like this, but my job is to just get gnarlier and gnarlier all the time. That's like the sport that I'm in is just, you just have to be gnarlier than last week. This week, you just have to be better than last week. You have to do something more dangerous than the week before. So it's kind of funny to think about it like that.
I live in Centerville, Mississippi, which is pretty much the center of nowhere, and that's pretty much what I love about it. It's 45 minutes from where I grew up, which is close enough, but yet it's home, and it's where I've come to pretty much live life the way that I want to live it. I can do anything here. I live on, right at 800 acres, and you know, between my 2 tracks and shops and airplane hangars and pastures, cows. I mean, I don't know, it's just, to me, it's just a cool way of life. My outdoor track was dreamed up and came about during my my femur break in February of '02, and then my time off. And it was cool because I really built things the way that I liked them and the way that I thought they would be fun for a lot of people. I mean, pretty big floater jumps, but nothing that's you know, that I think is really dangerous or that would get people hurt. I mean, no big doubles or anything. Everything's just like rolling floater tabletops or step-ups, and which is presenting a problem now because it's just so hard to keep up with. It's just, I mean, the grass grows on the sides, and I don't really beat the grass down because then the jumps are so big they kind of start eroding away. And now it's just to where it's just a maintenance headache. You know, I ride by myself, so you know, I ride one line and try to get it rough, and then you know the weeds just kind of start closing me in, and finally you get down to a point where you know you just have to go and do something about it. It's fun. I've had the same track for 3 years. I ride it forward, I ride it backwards, kind of change it up as much as I can, but I've invested so much time into moving these big mounds of dirt to make my jumps. I'm pretty much stuck with my layout. Air's fun, whipping is fun, but I think, you know, I guess it's the old man coming out of me that really likes to just rail that perfect corner.
How much oil does things supposed to have? Above 6. 2 will work for me and Garth, right? 2 will work? 2 quarts?
Yeah, 2.
It's supposed to have 6, but I think 2 will be all right. It's got some. Some's all we need.
My flying career pretty much solely started off the fact that I was scared of flying. I just decided to try to tackle it, you know, and meet it head on and learn a little bit more about it. And, you know, that's basically where it came from. Now it's just such a relaxing thing for me. I go up and, you know, any of the stresses that I have on the ground, you know, all my passengers say the same thing. The second you go up and you just cruise around looking at life from a different angle, different view, it's cool how it just can, you know, bring you to this, you know, peaceful state, you know, and I like that about it for the most part. You know, I go up, relieve some stress, fly around for a while, bust some friends, and come back and land. You know, I'm up for 30 minutes, and it's nice because it's here at the house. I don't have to go anywhere to do it, and don't go anywhere while I'm up there either, but, you know, I try to get a little bit of that every now and again just to, you know, keep peace.
I love having too much going on. Like if I don't have just a plate full, I'm bored. I like doing all that stuff. That was a good backing job, wasn't it? Good stuff right there.
To whip it, that's something that people have tried so many times to have me put in the words, and it's so hard to do because sometimes the bike just comes off the face different, or you know, it takes, you know, sometimes you're hanging off the back and you want to turn in, you know, into the whip for the gyro effect of the front wheel, but then the next time, as soon as I say that, it comes off completely different. I have to turn down, like turn my front end down to get the bike back. But I was looking at still shots of it. I mean, you're hanging off the back, you're all off underneath it, and
yeah, that's cover material. Oh yeah.
You basically point your bike so far off the track that if you don't whip it and have the air bring you back on, you're landing way off the track. I mean, I got friends that come and they can't ride my lines because you're trying to scrub or you're trying to do this or that. And I can tell you this, it doesn't feel like it looks. You know, when you're hanging off the bike or you're more upside down than right side up. It doesn't feel like that. It's just very natural feeling, very fluid and a flowing sensation. But to put it in words and to try to teach someone to do it, man, it's virtually impossible. The house when we moved in was 6,000 feet, and it's now hitting right at 20. It's actually 19.5 right now, but we're not really done with the construction yet, so it's going to be right around 20. It's 9 bedroom, 9 bath, so there's a lot of rooms. Unfortunately, they're all full of junk right now because, like I said, 100% of the house is kind of under construction at the moment. So this is the gym. It's pretty much health club quality. Every machine weight you could ever need, that I ever thought I would ever need, is in here. So it's this room, just to give you an idea, this room here is 2,800 square feet. So it's pretty large. Like whenever I'm done, I'm done. I'm done building. I wanted to make sure I had enough room, so I figured 6-car garage would probably be enough. Today's racing is so much more than just racing. From Greg training with me, he's my brother-in-law now, but just always around and always there for me. And my parents, who are both semi-retired, they work so well with watching the kids when we need them, and my kids love them, and they love, it's just a two-way street. And of course my wife, she's the most overworked person in the world that doesn't have a job. Everybody says, oh, just a racer's wife, or she doesn't have a job or doesn't do this. I mean, that girl works so hard at keeping our stuff afloat. But I know at the end of the day it's done right, and they have my interests at heart, and I trust them with my life. Anyone who's ever had a taste of private will understand why you want to travel that way. It's for the reason why it started is not why it continues. I'm not scared to go get on a commercial jetliner now, but I leave when I want to leave. Especially for outdoor nationals, we race in these little remote towns, and I can fly right in on top of the track 9 times out of 10. So I can leave as late as Saturday, be there for Saturday practice, race Sunday. I'm always home Sunday night. So if you take the whole Friday travel out and the whole Monday travel out, essentially I've made, 2 days, pretty much by the clock, and a day and a half. That's pretty awesome. For me, racing is completely different. The second the gate drops, your state of mind changes, and things don't feel fast to me, and they just, it's just what I do. I don't know, it's just so fluid, and I think that I'm not one of those guys that practices crazy fast, the new era of riders are just hanging it out every lap that they're out there, and I've never done that, and had never really been in my mentality, but something happens to me when the gate drops. When I'm at my best, when I'm racing to the top of my ability at the moment, things just are on autopilot. It's a really easy, kind of different world, that I go into. No matter how much I practice, no matter what I do, when the gate drops and your fans are around and you're racing and you're in the moment, it's just a different area of life that I can't go to unless the gate's dropping.
Hey, you mind turn that shit off? We're trying to work here. Hey, Tex. Hey, you mind turn that shit off? We're trying to work here. What kind of question you want to ask, Tex?
How many fingers am I holding up? About 8. How do they smell?
When one of them has a huge zit on their face, oh my God, look at that zit. How could you even go anywhere? Look at that thing, it's like, rah, rah. You know, and it's like, oh my God, don't say stuff like that. And you look fat today.
Tell Don I wouldn't have done it if he didn't bought supper. I'm just kidding.
Pool time now.
I am talking to you.
You're making this hard.
Nah, I'm not. I just get nervous. Especially when it's just me. Alright. Okay.
It's just you and me.
Just you and me. No, I'm
Nobody
not.
else.
I'm not nervous, but I just feel weird. Like,
I hear you.
I don't know. Saying my name is just weird.
Didn't ask you is during the winter.
If you put that, I'm gonna kill you. Do not put that.
That's so deep.
I do, no.
That'll be like a hidden button.
Hey,